Okay, so this is a screenshot of a Crispy Haynes tweet, and it says, "No trades materialized for the Sacramento Kings," and they held on to Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Malik Monk. Sources say, and I picked this quote because this video is going to be about the NBA trade deadline winners and losers. Now, there's obviously there's a clear line in the winners and losers, and the first people I want to cover as losers are the Sacramento Kings. The Kings really are the worst team in the league, and they have no assets. And I don't know, it's just kind of like I watch Kings basketball, and I'm like, what's first of all, what's happening out there? And then I think to myself, what are the Kings gonna do when like DeMar is gonna eventually retire or like leave, or and Zach LaVine leaves, and I wouldn't be surprised if Malik Monk leaves too. I think they should have traded Sabonis. There were a couple of offers out there. The Raptors wanted Sabonis, but the Kings said that the Raptors were not giving enough for Sabonis. And honestly, I think the Kings are so bad, you just kind of gotta not take any trade. But if a team is offering you someone for Sabonis, you kind of just gotta take it, cause I I honestly don't think that Sabonis' stock could get any really 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 higher to where you're gonna get a better package for him. So yeah, the next people I want to talk about as losers are the New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans moved Jose Alvarado for Dalen Terry. And then a day before that, the day before the NBA trade deadline, February 4th, 2026, Joe Dumars, the president of basketball operations, comes out and says, "I think this roster is a playoff roster," which is weird because the team has 13 wins. Okay, so beside me is like a view of the Pelicans roster. Don't pay attention to Jose Alvarado. He was moved today. I say the Pelicans are losers because they probably could have moved Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey's been having I'm not gonna say a career resurgence, but he's been having a really really good season. Yeah. Uh, Zion. I'm surprised a lot of teams don't want Zion, All NBA player, when he's at his peak. Like top 20 NBA player when he's at his peak. Someone who's an All Star, perennial All Star when he's healthy. I kind of don't get that. I don't think I don't think New Orleans is the place for Zion. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Zion should not be in New Orleans right now. I think he should be in a winning situation because he's a player that can contribute to wins. Jordan Poole. I don't know why Jordan Poole was moved. He got a coach's DMP yesterday, February 4th, 2026, and yeah, I think that he should have been moved because it kind of makes no sense for him not to be moved. Simple as that. Also, Herb Jones. Like I remember the beginning of the season, there were reports that Herb Jones and Trey Murphy could 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 Herb Jones and Trey Murphy could be traded, and their value could be like two second round or two first round picks. I don't know why New Orleans did not try to get. Yeah, I honestly don't because the Pelicans don't have a first round pick this year. I think so. For them not to make a move is it's kind of mind boggling. My next loser is the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have been putting Kuminga out there, but saying he has no value, which is tanking his value. Even though he's been a decent player, he's been pretty good the past couple of like days and weeks before his bone bruise. And we traded him for someone who does not play. And I say we because I am a Warriors fan. And I'm gonna say this with the utmost non-bias. This is a terrible trade. Kristaps Porzingis has had a mystery illness. He hasn't played, I think a month, almost a month. Hasn't played since January 15th, I believe. And yeah, I don't understand this. When last offseason, or a couple off seasons ago, I remember there were stages um, where the people who we could have got for Kaminga were Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby. So I don't see the Warriors are kind of like the Bulls. They hold on to these prospects too long and then get rid of them at the time where their stock is the lowest. So yeah, we didn't even get any picks. So yeah, the Warriors are a big loser on the deadline. My final loser are the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I know everyone's like Xavier. The Dallas Mavericks created $70 million in cap space. They got players to build around Cooper Flag with. The players they got to build the young players they got were Marvin Bagley and AJ Johnson. I don't want to hear it. This is a bad trade for the Mavericks. Terrible trade. I know that you try to get AD, but you try to get him for the best deal possible. There's no way they could not have gotten either Bilal Coulibaly, Kaishan George, or Alex Sarr in this trade, or Trey Johnson. There's no way you tell me that the Washington Wizards are on the phone talking to Anthony Davis and whoever runs the Dallas Mavericks, because it's not Nico, says, yeah. So basically, we're looking to get rid of AD, but we actually don't want any of your young players. Do y'all know? Do y'all not know how absurd that sounds? That sounds crazy. To not ask for any of their young players. The young player in question they got was AJ Johnson, who hasn't proven anything. Like his best highlight, like the best thing about AJ Johnson is his TikTok edits. And like I'm not trying to be mean to AJ Johnson, bro, but I think this is an F. Like this is the worst trade of the no, the Jose Alvarado trade for the Pelicans was the worst trade of the deadline. It's the second worst trade of the deadline. Easy. Now I have like two people who really won, and I'm talking about the Thunder. All the Thunder had to give up to get better and get younger was a first round pick, and they got Jared McCain, who hasn't been good as of late, but he was coming off an injury. But I'm not gonna say as of late, he hasn't been as good as he was in his rookie season as he was in his sophomore season. But everyone knows the term sophomore slump. There are people who just have sophomore slumps, and I think Jared McCain could be really good in OKC. Great in OKC. I don't know why Philadelphia did this, and then they didn't try and get someone to fill in, especially when Paul George was just suspended 25 games. Like I was thinking, okay, Jared McCain's gonna take the Paul George minutes, and then Jared McCain gets traded. I don't know what Daryl Morey was doing. James Wright, my bad. James Harden was right about Daryl Morey. He's a liar and a cheater, and he is not to be trusted, because like the moves he made during the deadline made no sense. My second biggest winner is the Utah Jazz. I think them getting Jaren Jackson Jr. and all they had to give up was Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and future first and 3 picks. I honestly think that's the picks part isn't a steal, but I think that's a steal, because I thought that they were going to give up either Laurie or Keontae George or Walker Kessler, and they didn't do that. And they keep their core 3, and now they have a big 4 in Keontae George, Walker Kessler, Laurie Markkinen, and JJJ. They also have Ace Bailey, who shows some promise. They have Jazz also have Isaiah Collier, who literally had 22 assists, even though he did play the whole game. But he had 22 assists. Like, I don't know. It's looking good for the Jazz. Grass is looking green. Grass is looking really green. But yeah, I think they're easily one of the biggest winners just because of this trade alone. JJJ brings a defensive presence that the Jazz need, because Walker Kessler is really their only great defender of the team. I think a front court. I don't know why I said backcourt. A front court of JJJ and Walker Kessler is easily one of the best front courts in the league. My last winner is the Pacers. The Pacers really didn't have to give up anything for they gave up Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson, but they got Zubac, who's like a top 10 center in the NBA, top 6, 7, really top 5 at his peak. Like last year, he was on top 5 conversations because he was that good. So yeah, the Pacers really didn't give up anything. They just gave up their pick this year, but if the pick doesn't convey to the Clippers, it turns into a 2031 pick, which means the Pacers still get this year's pick. But the pick also becomes unprotected if it doesn't convey to the Clippers. So yeah, I honestly think that this is an exciting trade deadline. A lot of people said it wasn't gonna be. Shams said it was gonna be a very busy trade deadline. I doubted him. Shams still does need to be blitzed for the Giannis thing, but this trade deadline was great. And yeah, those are my winners and those are my losers of the 2025-2026 NBA trade deadline. I actually had to add another loser, and that's the Heat. The Heat did not make a move. They were slated to make a Giannis move or a Ja move. Didn't make any move. Again, the Heat are losers of the trade deadline. I feel like they always are, because Pat Riley's too old, doesn't remember he's in the NBA, and never wants to make a move. So they are truly the last loser and the most forgotten about team in the trade deadline.